Welcome everyone. I'm really excited about today. Today, we're going to dive into really what's next in funeral home marketing, leveraging automation and AI to attract more families. So, really, I'm excited about this because this is something that is changing every single day, and it's just becoming more and more efficient, and we are seeing better and better results. So, really, this session is about walking you through proven methods, proven systems that we have integrated into funeral homes that not only help you generate more inquiries, but actually convert those inquiries into book services. So we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be talking about what's working, what's not, and how you can implement this into your funeral home as well. Now, just as we get started, what I'd love to do is I'd love to walk you through what we call the accelerated growth model. Now, this is a simple strategy to help your funeral home attract more clients, convert more calls, and really just get better results from your marketing efforts. So the number one thing that we see here is driving leads, right? We need to make sure that families can find your funeral home when they need you. And I think that this is really important. I know so many funeral homes that I talk to on a daily basis who tell me that their main source of inquiries or leads comes from families that they have worked with for generations, and they're surprised to see that that number is going down. And the truth of the matter is, in today's world, we have a new generation that's starting to make decisions on what funeral home their family is going to use next. And how is that decision being made? That's really what we have to think about. The generations that are doing this are using Google. They're really leveraging the internet, right? Modern technology. That's really what they're leveraging. So we need to make sure that you are just everywhere online, right? But more than anything, that you are all the way at the top, that you are on page one of Google, that people can see you, that you're front and center when people are searching. And, you want that because, when you have a family that's at need and they're probably frantic. They just don't know who to turn to. But what they do know is they know that if they're searching online, they're searching for reputation. And if they can't see you, and if you don't have a reputation out there, then this is definitely going to affect you. Then you will definitely see a decrease in your call volume. So, um, organic SEO, I would say, is at the top of this as far as a priority is concerned. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And that's just a fancy term for doing everything that has to be done to make sure that your website gets found on Google. So you want to optimize that website, optimize the Google business profile, right? That helps you show up when people are searching for a funeral home near them. The next thing that we want to look at is paid search, right? Are you running Google ads? Are you running those ads, and are you putting yourself at the top when families are looking for funeral services? And then the last part of this would be some sort of database marketing. Now, when I talk about database marketing, I'm talking about keeping in touch with the families that you have already served, both so that they can refer you other families that might need your services, but also so that you become the trusted source again for that family, right? So we want to make sure that all of that is front and center. We do that by email, SMS, event marketing, and even snail mail, throwing something in the mail. And for those of you who also focus on pre-need, that database is really a gold mine for pre-need. Now, number two is maximize conversions, right? Getting leads is important, but converting them into calls is really what matters, right? You can get the lead, you can get the inquiry, but or have somebody come to the website or find you online, but they actually have to pick up the phone and call you. They're going to have to want to call you. And I know studies show that um, families that are at need are searching for one funeral home, right? Their search may stop at one, maybe two, but studies show one. So your website is going to be super important. They're going to find you online, but they want that website to be clear, easy to use, and really have simple ways for families to contact you. Now, the second thing that we have to focus on is reputation management. So, more five-star reviews build trust and help families feel confident in choosing you. So, reputation management is really, really important also because the what they read in the reviews is almost as good as a referral, believe it or not. So that's super, super important. And number three is automation, right? What we want to do is, I know every funeral home I talk to tells me that they never miss a call. However, when we put our call tracking in place, we start hearing that they miss calls. So consider this a fail safe if you feel like you never miss a call. Automation really just means that you can follow up automatically, quickly via text, email, and this really just increases your chances of turning those inquiries into actual services with your funeral home. And number three is just optimizing results, right? Once leads are coming in, we really need to track what's working and make the most of your budget, right? So ROI tracking, I feel, is huge. We need to find out which marketing strategies are bringing in the most calls, right? This is the power of internet marketing. This is why this is more powerful than having that billboard, right? We can actually know where these people come from. The next is to have a look at your cost per lead. You want to make sure that you're getting the best value for your advertising dollars, right? How much is it actually costing you to get someone to call your funeral home? And then the last part of this is really just your total spend optimization. Spend smarter, not just more, to get better results. So really by following this model, driving leads, maximizing conversions, and optimizing results, you can not only survive, but you can also thrive in this new market that we're facing, and you can help more families when they need you most. So, all right, let's break this down a little bit further. When we talk about driving leads, that's potential families who need funeral or cremation services, and finding you, right? We do this by making sure that your business shows up, when people search on Google, and especially in the Google Maps listings. We want to maximize conversions, and that's all about turning those people who actually find you and see your listing into clients, right? We want to optimize results. We want to make sure that the money that you're spending on marketing is giving you the best return possible. Now, when we mention organic traffic, we're talking about getting your business to rank high on Google without having to pay for ads. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind, because that's really a lot of funeral homes I talk to want to run ads, but they don't realize the power in doing organic traffic, which is basically doing everything that we have to do in order to make sure that families find you without having to pay. So keep that in mind. Now, today we're going to be talking about maximizing conversions with automation, right? So every lead should be followed up with right away. So if you do miss a call, what happens after that, right? By leveraging the power of automation and AI, today we can follow up immediately, right? You can be on the phone, miss a call. You can be with a family and miss a call, and your system will automatically send a message saying, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm with a family at the moment, but what can I help you with?" Okay. So take that into consideration. And again, this all fits into a bigger picture. We call this the eternal marketing for funeral homes. It's a method, right? This method covers all of the different channels and strategies that you could use to monetize, your lead flow and position yourself as the go-to provider in the community that you serve. So I want you to keep this in mind, because this is really a holistic approach. Um, a lot of times people ask, where should I put my money when it comes to marketing. And the truth is that there's not just one thing, right? This is not there. There's no magic bullet. This is about being visible across the board. From SEO and paid ads to reputation management, have the automations running, and then really all of these pieces work together really to ensure that you're capturing leads and converting them into booked services. So today we're going to focus on the automation piece, like I said, but that's one part of a whole system. And for those of you who don't know me, just a quick intro. My name is Oscar Guerrero, and I'm the founder of Funeral Marketing Pros. I have over 10 years of hands-on experience in all aspects of digital marketing, from technical SEO to meta ads, email marketing. And over the years, I've helped hundreds of small to medium-sized businesses generate over $100 million in revenue. So aside from that, I'm also a mentor with Seven Figure Agency, where I help small marketing agencies grow into multi-million dollar businesses. And I've been active in the industry working closely with funeral homes and crematories. And today, I'm excited to share how you can use marketing automation to grow your business. In addition to all of this, I'm also an author. Okay, so author of Eternal Outreach, Mastering Digital Marketing for Funeral Homes. Now, more important than anything else at this point, I've had the chance to work with lots of funeral homes and crematories in some of the most competitive markets across the country. And I've seen many of them go from, struggling to generate calls, or, just getting by to really thriving in their local markets. And a lot of these businesses really have seen a big increase in the number of calls that they do. And what I'm going to share with you today isn't theory or something I just picked up from a blog. It's based on what's actually working right now for funeral homes and crematories, just like yours. So our mission is to triple calls for 1,000 funeral homes and crematories by solving the number one marketing challenge. And today, that challenge is going to be those people who are interested, who call, but decide not to move forward with your funeral home. So really the question is, what happened to them, right? All right, folks. So I'd also like to talk a moment about what's really going on in the industry, right? We're in the middle of a perfect storm. It's shaking up the funeral home business in ways that we've never seen before. First off, competition is getting fierce. We're up against, the newer trends, direct cremation. This is coming in very strong. Existing competitors stepping up their game, right? So you're not the first one to think, oh, wow, maybe I need to do something online, right? And speaking of pressure, the cremation, the number of people who want cremations is skyrocketing, right? So more and more families are opting for direct cremation, which means fewer people are choosing traditional services, and that's cutting into the core of what funeral homes have always done. So let's talk a little bit about call volume. For some people it's down. For some people they're seeing fewer calls, which naturally means that they're handling fewer services. And when we do get a call, we know that the revenue per service just isn't what it used to be, especially with the shift towards cremation. Now, on top of that, we're all feeling squeezed from inflation, right? So this is coming in from all sides. So costs are going up everywhere we turn, but the margins are getting thinner, revenue is dropping, and it's putting profitability at serious risk unless we take some proactive steps. Now, we're in a post-COVID world, and then there's the COVID accelerated mortality impact, right? We saw a lot of deaths earlier than expected, which led to a dip in call volume. And that has put us in a lull as well. And, it could be another few years before we see those numbers really, really pick up. So consumer preferences are shifting. In some areas, up to 95% of families are choosing the most basic, cost-effective options. The green movement is also gaining steam. So more people are turning away from embalming and traditional casket services. And the days of high cost $10,000 to $20,000 funerals, In most parts of the United States, most funeral homes around the country are seeing that those days are gone or fading fast. So families are looking for low cost and sometimes even home based services instead. And I don't believe this is just a blip. I believe that this is a major shift in how people have always done business. So we're really navigating in uncharted waters here. Many funeral directors who've been in the industry for decades really are facing challenges that they've never seen before. And here's the thing, with every challenge comes an opportunity. And now is the time really to adapt, innovate, and find new ways to serve the community. And really, I'm going to pose this in a different way today. Is death rate really the problem? Right? That's the question that I want to put out here because when we think about all of the different ways we can market our funeral home or crematory, and there are many options out there. And honestly, when it's done right, most of them work pretty well. And I'm talking about online more than anything. If you rank organically on Google, if you're optimizing and running local service ads, if you're tapping into any cost per lead service out there, and you're building your brand on social media, this will drive results. So some businesses um, have also, continued doing the radio and the billboards as well. And then, of course, there's word of mouth. So the truth is that there's no shortage of people in the market, in any market, who need a funeral home. The need will always be there, right? So maybe it's not about generating more leads, but about something else. And again, this fits into the bigger picture, right? I presented this earlier. This is the eternal marketing method. This is going to cover all of the channels and strategies. So remember, we're looking for a holistic approach to marketing. And one of the biggest challenges funeral homes face, I believe, is missed opportunities. And people hate to admit to this. But there are people out there who visit your website. There are people who visit your website and leave. Then there are people who visit your website and call for information or make an inquiry. And they say thank you very much and they hang up and they move on. Right. And this is a missed opportunity. Right. Um, so here's the problem, right? These are unconverted leads, and this is a major issue because unconverted inquiries means that a family reached out, but there is a good percentage of them that never turned their inquiry into an actual booked service. So 50 to 60% of inbound inquiries typically will go unconverted, right? 50 to 60% of people who are finding you online. I'm not talking about people who were referred to you. I'm not talking about families you've always worked with. I'm talking about those of you out there who are running ads and actually have advertising going on. You notice that the people who come in from the ads, only half of them are actually doing business with you, right? And then those of them who are inquiring about your services through a form on your website, that's even, only 10% of those are moving on to do anything. So I believe that families need a more personalized approach online and better follow up and clearer guidance on like what's the next step. And if we can fix this, it means that more families will be served, and that eventually will mean more revenue for your funeral home. And you can do this if you're running ads already. That means that you can do this without spending more money, right? So this is all done without additional marketing spend. Now, here's the why, right? Speed matters. If an inquiry is not followed up within 15 minutes, it's cold, right? That person has gone on to another funeral home or crematory. They're no longer interested in doing business with you, right? Families really, especially at need families, they're looking for immediate answers. And any delay is going to move them on to the next funeral home. So I believe that when someone reaches out to you and that call doesn't get answered, when they leave a voicemail, when they send an email, when they make any type of online inquiry, they need to be followed up with not only immediately, but consistently. Probably within the first 24 hours. They're going to need 5 to 7 follow ups so that you can get in touch with them so that they can make a decision, right? And schedule their services with you. So another thing that you should take into consideration is that in today's economy, well, not in today's economy, in today's world, we need to meet the customer where they're at. And I mentioned earlier that the people that are making the decision to work with the funeral home, which funeral home they will choose, you have to meet them where they're at. And if they're looking online, chances are they're digital. Chances are that they much prefer texting. So you have to have a mechanism that allows you to reach them via text and follow up. And this is great because this can actually reduce your response time if you set this up with automations. So speed is key. You want to use marketing automation to follow up within the first 2 minutes of an inquiry, whether that be by phone, email, or text. You already know that families are going to be quick to make a decision, and every minute there counts. You want to make your follow-ups consistent, automate them, follow up so that the family gets followed up with by phone, by text, by email, immediately, especially the first day. And then you want to have the ability to text, SMS back and forth. You want to make sure that you're ensuring, that easy two-way communication with SMS. Now, let's take a look at the math. I'm not going to go through the animations on all this. I'll just put this up. So let's say that on average you generate 100 inquiries per year from online marketing. Okay, so 100 phone calls per year, and your conversion rate's around 30%, which is kind of typical for funeral homes and crematories that don't have a follow-up system in place. And if someone answers the phone right away, great, chances are you'll get that business. But if they get a chance to respond to an email or call back, you know, once, even better. But beyond that, there's no follow-up. Typically, there's no automation, there's no speed to lead, right? So a 30% conversion rate, say of the year, right? You have 100 leads that you're actually getting from online marketing, and you're converting 30 of them, right? Say that your average service is $6,500. That brings in $195,000 in revenue. That's not bad, but here's the catch. If you're spending $50,000 a year to generate 100 leads, then you're starting to really shrink that return on investment, right? Because I all know that you have high overheads. There's real estate, there's employees, there's all kinds of stuff that you have to manage to pay. So when we get this process right and we leverage marketing automation, we can really move that needle on conversion. So by following up faster, and automating the process and responding within 2 minutes or less, I believe that conversion rates jump to around 70%, right? Since families are only shopping at that one funeral home and they called you and you missed it, but you got back to them within minutes, right? Within minutes. Now you can not convert at 30%, but you can convert at 70%. And at that same number, right, $6,500 on average, that's $455,000 in revenue on the same amount of money that you're spending on marketing, right? So if you're investing $50,000 a year on marketing, think about it, roughly just a little over $4,000 a month. But you're getting back $455,000. That's a huge difference to your bottom line. So I believe that this could really make a big difference on your returns. All right. So it's not just about getting more leads, it's about making the most of every single inquiry that comes in. Right. Today, we're not focusing on what we can do for your website to get found, for run an ad and have a billboard and do all these things. We're focusing on what happens when people actually reach out to you. And what we want to do is improve the follow up, right? Now, families today expect very, very quick communication, and they prefer, like I mentioned earlier, there are many decision makers out there that prefer text over phone calls or email. And, text messaging is the most effective way to reach a family quickly. 98% of texts are open and 95% are read and responded to within 3 minutes. So families are 5 times more likely to engage via text than with phone calls. So when you can incorporate SMS into your follow-up strategy, you ensure faster responses, more engagement, and at the end of the day, more business. So remember, follow up quickly. Speed matters when responding to funeral service inquiries. You know, families are often in urgent need, and if they don't hear back quickly, they'll move on to another provider. So, studies show that responding within 5 minutes is 21 times more effective than waiting 30 minutes. Right. So, additionally, after just 5 minutes, the likelihood of converting a lead, we all know this, right? We all know that in that need family, if you don't get back to them immediately, it's done. That's a lost opportunity. The problem is when you're putting in efforts to generate those online inquiries, that's lost money. So we have to prioritize rapid follow-up, and really just secure more at need calls. Okay. And really, this is where it comes into leveraging automation for funeral homes. Why automation, right? When we follow up manually on every inquiry, that's going to be time consuming. And I have yet to meet a funeral home owner that has a lot of time on their hands, or a funeral director that has a lot of time on their hands. So following up immediately is very important. And the second thing is that if we don't, I'm sorry, following up manually, if we don't follow up automatically, chances are that leads are going to fall in through the cracks, right? Manually means inconsistent. So you want to make sure that your automation ensures that every lead gets a response within a few minutes, even outside of, I know that most of you don't have business hours, it's 24 hours, but even, when it's 2 a.m. and you miss that call. So the ideal outcome for a funeral home is to ensure that everyone who actually inquires receives an immediate response, right? Email and SMS, if you can get it out there within 30 seconds, that would be awesome. A personal phone call within 5 minutes would be even better, right after that message, and that really helps it so that people don't slip through the cracks. And this is just a proven system. So let's take a moment and let's think about what we've covered, right? If a funeral home followed up with every inquiry quickly and consistently, how many families would they be able to serve, right? If every potential inquiry received multiple touch points immediately, um, what would that result in, right? Uh, would these changes, do you believe that these changes would help convert more families and increase your call volume? Right. So absolutely. Right. So this is the power of structured follow-ups and automation, right? This is, ensuring that no family is left waiting when they need your services the most. So if your funeral home isn't visible online, families are going to choose someone else. We already know that. And, you know, um, if you have this dialed in, you'll see great results. And I'd love to give you this example. Here's Steve Anderson, one of our clients from Peel Funeral Home over in Magna, Utah, who's experienced this firsthand. We've optimized his Google business profile, and we have implemented automations to automatically go out and try to get reviews for him. And the interactions have nearly doubled. He has what we call a halo effect happening, which is, call volume is increasing just from, optimizations done to his website, optimizations done to his Google business profile. He's got ads running, you know, he's got this callback, automated callback all dialed in. And really, this proves that the online visibility directly impacts how families you serve find you, right? This isn't just about having a website. It's about, how your funeral home appears when families are searching. So Google, they're looking at Google and Facebook and all of that. If you're not showing up, you're losing business, right? So, how do you implement this in your business? So now let's talk a little bit about how you can apply it to your funeral home, right? This is kind of how it works here. You've got traffic source, you've got the families coming in. You can create a page that is somewhat of a landing page, or it's a page that's specific to what they want. So someone comes onto your funeral home website and they're looking for cremation. You want to send them to your cremation page. You want to have a form on that page. You want to have a widget on that page that they can chat through. You want to set that up so um, they can actually set call as well, right? But if you have all of these things happening at the same time, then with the automations dialed in, then that will work. And this is another funeral home that we work with. But really, this is where automation makes a big impact for funeral homes, right? Um, we use a system, we've created a system that we call Eternal Amp. And basically someone comes onto the website and they can look for cremation, or they can look for any other questions that they might have. They might send you a text message through the website. They may fill out a form through the website, and our system will automatically reply to it. Our system also has the ability to listen to for responses. So if they reply yes, then they can be guided to set up a time for a consultation, or a meeting with you. Our system is intelligent enough to know positive responses from negative responses, and we can actually feed it all the information about your funeral home, about your services, about your prices, about your availability, and the system can automatically field all of these questions. Now, once someone actually schedules an appointment through Eternal Amp, through our system, they'll receive a confirmation message. The truth is that we could automate the entire process, but um, so far, what we see is that most people do like to speak to someone on the phone still. We do believe that that's going to be changing, but our system will take you as far as you want to take the person. So if it's to make an appointment with you, get their questions answered, they will feel like they're talking to a person, and you can actually schedule it with them, schedule that time with them, and it will turn around and it will actually send them their confirmations and everything. And this is how, this is the complete queue of how our system works. If you want more details on how this works, we can walk you through it and how this would fit your funeral home. And really, what the key is, just to understanding that now with AI, with automations, with this intelligence, we can build this system out for your funeral home. And like I said, we can take it as far as you would like us to actually take it. Here's another diagram of full lead generation process. We have the traffic sources, the lead flows and automations, the qualifications, how it can integrate into your system and everything. So that's about it, folks. I want to wrap up by, just reminding you, remember, speed is critical, right? So we have an incoming inquiry. You can't answer it. Our system will automatically answer it for you. Remember that if they aren't addressed within 15 minutes, they're probably gone. And responding within 5 minutes is 21 more times more effective than just waiting 30 minutes, right? And families are going to want to choose the funeral home that responds first. They're going to make that decision as fast as possible. And one of the most effective ways that we can get in touch with them is SMS. So prioritize all this, folks. Prioritize your fast follow-ups, automations, leverage AI, and see your business not only adapt but thrive. Okay. Um, Take a moment, think about these strategies. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this. Please go ahead and reach out to me, Oscar at funeralmarketingpros.com, or feel free to visit our website, funeralmarketingpros.com. If you'd like to schedule a call directly with me, just go to funeralmarketingpros.com/discovery, or you can call us directly at 855-674-1008. Thank you and have a wonderful day.